Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here along with Pete.
Yep.
And today, guys, of course, we're bringing the much-anticipated Fixer-Upper NBA Edition video. And, of course, we're going to be doing it on my boys Peter's team, the New York Knickerbockers.
Oh, my gosh. They need so much help.
And today, before we get started on today's Fixer-Upper, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you're new. And also to remember, check out our amazing, awesome content that we have on the channel. Check out his 5 co-superstars of the future. Check it out. And also check out the Phoenix Suns Fixer-Upper, where we go over the Phoenix Suns and how we think they should rebuild. But right now, we're here to focus on the New York Knicks. And Peter, I'm just going to let you start it off first because I know you wanted to talk about it. What do we think about the David Fizdale hire as we go into the rebuild?
It's kind of crazy because I don't think I've ever seen the Knicks make such a good decision on the first try. It's pretty impressive. We got David Fizdale, who, in my opinion, is the best coach on the market, who was available at the time. And he just seems like the perfect kind of coach that we would need, right? Because he's a very culture-oriented coach. Jeff Hornacek did not appear to be that kind of guy.
Right.
I don't want to come on here and slander Jeff Hornacek. I've done it before, and honestly, he wasn't the worst coach in the league last year, this past season. So there is that to be said. There's coaches worse than him, but David Fizdale is a good guy because, you know, he's already making contact with guys like Joakim Noah, right? And not that I necessarily want him back, but if we're going to pay him, we might as well try and figure something out.
I was going to say.
So I appreciate that. And he just seems like the kind of guy that's going to bring these guys together. And it's been well documented that players love David Fizdale. So I really appreciate that. And I like what he's doing with Porzingis already. He's saying, I want to go to Latvia with him and hang out, you know, and get to know him so we can be, you know, friends and coaching team, player, right? I like David Fizdale. 10 out of 10 signing, in my opinion.
And now that we have the foundation that is the head coach, you always need that foundation with him. James Dolan, I'm pretty sure they're going to be on the same page now. Hopefully Dolan gives him the keys to the kingdom. And with that kingdom, there's a lot of pieces that either need to be moved or are probably going to opt out of their contract this coming year. Obviously, the ones that are coming up are Kyle O'Quinn,
Enes Kanter,
and also Rod Baker, with one of them probably likely signing the player option that they signed. There's also a lot of players that are coming off the books, but if we just take into account the players that are probably going to be re-signed and everything with that, with Baker, they're at $77 million, with the cap room next year being at $101.
Yep.
There's a couple moves that they probably could make. What do you think is the first thing to really fix up this foundation that has a nice home, but we got to change a couple of the things inside?
All right, so let's go with the guys we already have who are going to be coming off contracts. Ron Baker has the player option. It's like $7 million or something like that, right? He's going to accept it. He hardly played this season. He was injured. He's coming back.
Yeah.
He'll play, take his player contract. Kyle O'Quinn, if we can get him for a reasonable price, excuse my flub of the words. I really like Kyle O'Quinn. It's just like a chemistry guy for the team. Everyone seems to really like Kyle O'Quinn. I would appreciate bringing him back. Plus, he's just like fun to watch. Like Kyle O'Quinn, not always the best player. He makes some stupid decisions, but he's fun. Enes Kanter, you don't think he's going to take his player option?
No, I think it's reported that he's not going to take it.
I mean, I still wouldn't be surprised if he were to accept it, depending on what the guarantees are from the organization. Because I think he'd be hard-pressed to find $18.6 million other places this offseason based on his skill set in the NBA.
Right.
Especially with guys like Clint Capella up and Julius Randle, even though, you know, if somebody wants to play a smaller center with Julius Randle, kind of depends. So I wouldn't mind seeing him back either. He's just like, he's the same kind of guy as Kyle O'Quinn, in the sense that chemistry-wise, people seem to really like Enes Kanter, and the city. I mean, New York loves Enes Kanter. It's just a fact. Like, he was instantly accepted by the city. If I had to see any of those guys go, I would see Enes Kanter go, just because of his price tag.
Yeah.
Like, defensively, he wasn't as terrible as he was for OKC. But still, he's a liability.
Yeah. Like,
rebounding and even scoring-wise, he's, like, one of the better centers in the league. Like, I'm taking him over, like, Valanciunas as far as, like, just offensive game is concerned. But defensively, goodness gracious. Like, pick and roll, just absolutely, he can't handle it whatsoever. So, we'll see. One guy I actually want to see this guy get an extension is Trey Burke. I want to see him get his contract up so we can keep him happy, keep him on the team, because I actually think Trey Burke has a pretty good future with the team as like a third guard on the team. I would really appreciate that. But let's talk some free agents on the market.
Right.
I think the best option, I think we just need to get some wings, first of all. Okay, so I think that's where we should draft, first of all. I really started to decide, my brain is picked. I want either Mikal Bridges or Miles Bridges. That's who I want. Okay. With the 9th or 8th pick, whatever we get. I would also like to see them go out and get Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker. I've slandered that man on this channel.
Yeah, you slandered him in the last fixer-upper.
I really don't think he's going to get a max contract this offseason.
Probably not.
So if we can get him for a reasonable deal, reasonable relatively, right? Because he's still going to get money compared to a lot of the free agents out there. He is still really young. He's only 22, and he's shown some really good upside moments. But he seems like the kind of guy that could just really benefit from a new setting. And New York might be the perfect place for him. Like, he just gets to be big time and be the flashy scorer while Kristaps is gone. I think he might be the perfect fit. I wouldn't mind Julius Randle either, depending on if we get rid of Kyle O'Quinn or Enes Kanter. Right. That would be a solid fit too. What do you think about any of those guys that are up? Because there's like Clint Capella, who's going to get absolute max contract.
He's going to get some good money. I think first of all we got to start with the draft. I think that's the most important thing. In the Fizdale era, I believe they're probably either going to go with, because they're going to lose probably Kanter and Quinn. Seeing if they can re-sign them is going to be interesting. But you're probably going to either want a center or a wing. I'm thinking if Wendell Carter Jr. is still on the board, you might go for him if you want a center to kind of pair up with Porzingis, kind of be the low post dominant guy. Porzingis stretches the floor, or you go Michael Bridges. I think he's probably the perfect 3-and-D guy out there in this draft. So I think he would be a perfect fit for your team. And if we're just going based on without the draft, after we draft our rookie here, if you have the rest of the money to spend here, which is probably going to be not that much, probably I want to say maybe 80 million is how much you're going to have on the books, maybe. What do you think about this? You get either a Jabari Parker to be that low post guy. You get Michael Bridges as the wing guy. What if you bring in a guy like Rudy Gay?
It depends on how Fizdale wants to use him, right? I think the Greg Popovich coaching system has really done Rudy Gay a big benefit this season, because before the Spurs trip, he wasn't the greatest player in the NBA by a long stretch.
No, but he was like a poor man's small forward type of scorer.
He's really changed his game to work in the NBA right now from where he used to be. So I appreciate that with Rudy Gay, but that's totally dependent on the contract, right? Because like I don't want to pay him more than, honestly, I don't want to pay him more than like 11 mil.
I mean, he's making 8 mil right now. You probably could sign him, depending on how the market is going to shape up, maybe 10 to 11, like around that range. Sign him there. You get a guy in Jabari Parker who's probably going to go around 12 to 16, I think. Yeah. Because he's had an injury history. I'm sure no one really wants to take a risk yet. But if you're able to get those two guys, get Porzingis contract situated, you probably won't play till the middle of next season. And then you also got your Michael Bridges, who can probably grow extensively. Yeah. You know, because he doesn't. I think the thing is, you don't really have to start Michael Bridges right away. You could have Rudy Gay kind of come in, give those good minutes, and then Michael Bridges with the second unit dominate there. I think that'd be a good enough team to where I think they could sneak in, especially in the Eastern Conference where we don't know the other team strategies. Obviously, I think the Bulls will probably be a better team.
I agree.
So, I mean, you could probably sneak in there. I mean, there's some other options you could probably go. Another guy is you just re-sign Quinn. He's probably going to want 8 to 10.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Enes Kanter's probably going to want somewhere to 20 to 23.
God, see, I don't want to pay that.
Yeah.
Like, I like Enes a lot, but I just don't want to pay that. I think ideally, if free agency-wise, these would be the two moves I would make. If we could get Jabari on a relatively good deal, I would really like that. And then I really like if we were to lose Kyle O'Quinn, I just think this guy's a better version of Kyle O'Quinn, Montrezl Harrell. I would really appreciate that sign. He's like a really good, just energy guy.
Yeah, the small forward energy guy.
Put back dunk, and then it just energizes the whole team. And he's a really, really good rebounder, like incredible rebounder. So
yeah, for his size, he's definitely a great rebounder. The only problem is he's a restricted free agent. I'm pretty sure the Clippers will probably re-sign him for all the energy that he brings in there.
I agree.
And besides, I mean, there's rumors that Doc Rivers is going to re-sign. So I think they're probably going to keep Montrezl Harrell, even though I think, like, I put him on the list as a potential free agent where he could come in, give you those energy minutes. I was going to say, what do you think of Tyreek Evans? He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. You get him on the cheap, probably 15 to 17 maybe.
I think he's going to get too much money for me to want him. Like, I think he, like you said, he's going to get 15 to 17. I wouldn't want to pay him that much money based on his injury history. He's already like 27, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to pay him that much. Sorry. Jabari Parker, like, I know he has an injury history too, but he's only 22. And I don't think we've seen Jabari Parker anywhere near his peak as an NBA player. Let me throw this just scenario out there.
Okay.
For the Knicks, this is just a dream situation because we could really load up on young dudes. If we were to get a little lucky, move up in the lottery a little bit, let's say we get like the 7th pick, and we find ourselves in a Charlotte Hornets, Frank Kaminsky type situation where somebody wants that pick exactly to get somebody, and they're willing to trade up to get that pick. Like, let's say like the Clippers really, really like Michael Porter, right? And we can trade for their 12th and 13th or something along those lines. That would be ideal. Because I think building up that core of just young dudes, like what the Lakers did this last draft.
Right.
They killed it, right? So that kind of situation is exactly what the Knicks need, especially with the Porzingis year. Basically, he's going to get the year off. Not off. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not going to play. I think just loading up on these young dudes that we can all just let them go out, maybe win 30 games, you know? I think that's ideal.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but more than likely, I mean, it's not going to happen. It's going to be the 8 to 9 region, probably more likely 8.
I appreciate the Fizdale signing because I think he's going to make the smart decision and not the flashy decision. Like, if Trae Young is there and Mikal Bridges is there, he's going to take Mikal Bridges because he's the better player. Whether Trae Young turns out to be the next Steph Curry or not is besides the point, but the Bridges pick is safe.
I was going to put this on the board, but I didn't really put it on here because I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the Knicks? If they decide, you know, we're going to forget all these free agents, let's go after DeMarcus Cousins. Would you want DeMarcus Cousins on the team?
Do I want Boogie?
Probably going to be around 25 to 29.
I really like Boogie,
No.
Just because, like, I've never been a big fan of the AD Boogie partnership with the Pelicans. And I think, like, you know, albeit they're about to lose to the Warriors maybe tonight. Yeah. They've been better without Boogie, right? And I think that kind of situation might be the same case if we were to pair Porzingis and Boogie together. Okay. I would rather not. I would rather save our money for 2019. Like, if we could get LeBron, right? I'm thinking maybe, right? Because we've had it, this is the next point of discussion in this little video. We've had Enes Kanter come out, challenge LeBron, say, come.
Hey, so people keep debating about who is the king of New York. Okay, who is the really king of New York? Hey, LeBron, yes. You really want to be king of New York? Come and prove it. I'll see you July 1st, brother. Good luck.
Come really prove that you're the king of New York. We have David Fizdale. There's reports that he's really going to go after LeBron this offseason. I don't think he's ever going to come to New York. Like, why would he? You know,
yeah. He had his opportunity in the 2010 free agency class with Brooklyn, all these other teams chasing him. They had their opportunity, but I don't think they had the right pieces or they didn't have the right salary cap at the time to really make the team.
See, this is the one swinging point I could say that maybe we could get LeBron is if something in New York business-wise would draw him there, right? Because that's what LeBron is in his business mode, CEO, mogul status era of his career right now, as well as being the GOAT, right? So that would be the only way. And I don't think anything that is going to be presented in New York is going to be that different from LA. So he's not coming to New York, but I appreciate the fact that Fizdale and Kanter are out there lobbying to get him. Yeah. It's good, but it's not going to work. So.
I mean, this is like the renovation of all renovations. And this is like getting the perfect kitchen inside your home. I mean, this is just granite tables, marble floors. I mean, everything that you could want in a kitchen is LeBron James.
I mean, it'd be pretty perfect to get you to the playoffs for the next 3 years. We're not winning anything even if we get LeBron. We don't have the pieces to surround him. No.
But my thing is, it's going to be the exact same situation that it is in Cleveland right now.
Yeah.
Because Porzingis is out for most of the year,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to be a tough sell to LeBron to want to come to New York, even if there is something business-wise, because he could just send out his crew.
He doesn't need to be there.
So it's going to suck, but it's a pretty good thought that they're trying to at least try to go get him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is. What do you think about signing guys like a Clint Capella? Would you want to sign him to, 20 to 23 million?
If it came to signing him for 20 to 23 million or Enes Kanter for 20 to 23 million, I'm taking Clint Capella.
Clint Capella?
I mean, I just think overall he's better, right? He's a better defender. He's gotten a lot better this season, especially on defense. And like just in that one facet of his game, he's leaps and bounds ahead of Enes Kanter. And he's younger. He's only 22 or 23. Same money, yeah, bring him in, please. Mm-hmm. That's much smarter business-wise than Enes Kanter. Let's talk some of these people who are reportedly on the trade bubble.
Okay.
What do we think about Kawhi to New York? We've talked about this before. Do you think we even have the pieces?
I mean, without... That's tough. I don't think you do.
I don't think we do either.
I mean, unless you have... No, not even if Ennis or Kyle Quinn signed. It's just... There's not enough, unless you give up that number 8 pick.
Mm-hmm.
You also give up probably the whole frontier of players that you have.
The whole youth movement.
The whole youth movement. You get rid of Frank, who would actually be pretty interesting in San Antonio. But I just think there has to be a lot more given to get Kawhi.
I agree.
Depending on, let's say, for example, if this is going to be his last year's contract, I'm not sure if the Spurs are going to let it run out. But if they do let it run out and it comes time, push and shove, maybe you can finesse a deal from the Spurs because there's not much time left on the contract.
It depends. See, the question with the Knicks, and this is kind of the question for a lot of these teams that Kawhi could possibly go to. It depends on where the Spurs sit with Kawhi, right? We still don't officially know how their situation is. If it's really that broken, they might just try and get him out of there as quickly as possible. And it also really depends on what these other GMs know about Kawhi in his situation. Like, if it's really as bad as some people seem to think it is, New York seems like the perfect destination because they would be like, oh, we don't care. We'll just let him be terrible here. Let his whole crew run New York, right? It's just like, it's something New York would do if the situation presented itself. I just don't think it's going to happen, though. Plus, I don't think San Antonio, I think San Antonio is going to be a little bit petty about this if they do trade him. And New York would be a fit that Kawhi probably would want. And I don't think they trade him there. No, they're probably going to trade him some other small market team. Charlotte, maybe OKC. See if he can play with Westbrook. I mean, this is going to be another... How would they... Dude, I don't know how they would do that. Just get rid of all the youth pieces that the Oklahoma City Thunder have left. Or just even like a Pacers team. See if you can get something from them. Yeah, see, that would be awesome. Some Victor Oladipo. That'd be so fun to watch. They'd be defensively, they'd be insane. But, I mean, this is what we're looking at right now for the Knicks. There's obviously some pieces that can be done. There's obviously some trade block stuff that also could be done. But when it comes push and shove, if you have to make a team to make the playoffs, what are you doing with this? What are your 2 picks for your free agents if you have to make the playoffs? There's no future rebuild. There's just, we need to make the playoffs this year because James Dolan, as we know, is very impatient. Have to make the playoffs. Like, I mean, see, that changes it because if we have to make the playoffs, I'm trying to get one of those superstar guys, right? Like Boogie or one of them. Like, I don't think Boogie's going to carry you to the playoffs, but I think he has a better chance this year than Jabari Parker does, right? But if I had to make any 2 signings, Jabari Parker, because I think he's the best fit. Okay. And then if not him, I would really like Julius Randle. Those are the 2 guys I would really like to see on New York, just because I think they're still so young. They still have really high upside, and I think their play styles would mesh really well with KP when he comes back. But I think even more important than them is just, like, we have to do good in the draft. Like, we have to make the smart choice. And if Mikal Bridges is gone, you just got to take the best available that fits with KP, right? And if it's Colin Sexton, then you take Colin Sexton, even though we don't necessarily need another guard. You would take Colin Sexton over maybe like a Wendell Carter or something like that? I just think he's better. Like, I would take him because he's better. I'm not super high on Wendell Carter, though, right? At the number 9 or 8 pick, I wouldn't want him there. Like, I'd think more like 12 or 13, but I think Colin Sexton is in the realm of like 7 to 9. Like, I think he's just a little bit better. Like, I don't want Trae Young, just he's too risky. Like, he could end up being incredible. But we don't need a risky pick this year with KP coming into this injury season and then a re-signing year after this. We need the safe pick. And I think it's one of the wings, so it's either Miles Bridges or Mikal Bridges. Or, Wendell Carter's not a bad shout either, right? If he was to be on the board at 9, he might not be.
Yeah.
He might go in the top 5, which would be kind of crazy, but it's possible. I don't know. What would be your pick if you were a Knicks fan?
Knicks fan.
Who do you want?
Put my Knicks hat on real quick. Let's see here. If I had to pick one guy to really just, or I guess a couple guys, I think, first of all, I'm probably bringing in Julius Randle. I like his tenacity. I like his effort, his hustle.
Yeah.
He brings it every night on the court, which is something I love about him as a basketball player.
Yeah.
And I think I'd also send Rudy Gay. I think Rudy Gay with the San Antonio Spurs, he's got that Spurs mindset. He's going to be wanting to really prove himself in the playoffs. You also have David Fitzdale, who wants a veteran, experienced player. If this is to go to the playoffs, this is just for playoff example. He has that playoff experience. He's, he played in Memphis. He's done really well for the Spurs. I think with him, those two guys, and you get a healthy KP in the middle of the season, you can make a late push.
Maybe.
And get Wendell Carter or Michael Bridges. I think you can make a sneak push to the 8th seed.
It's definitely possible. I mean, especially it really is solely relying upon when KP comes back. If he can come back all-star break time, we could do a lot of things, depending on how healthy he is. So let me give you my 4 things this offseason I just want to see happen. All right?
Okay. Let's see what you need to renovate.
First of all, David Fitzdale came out and said today, he quoted, somebody asked him what he was going to do with Kristaps. Is he going to play the 5? And David Fitzdale gave the greatest answer a Knicks coach could give, and he said 4, 5, wherever. It doesn't matter. He can play wherever we want him to play, that's what basketball is nowadays. It's positionless, and I appreciate that this man understands that KP can do anything on the court already. So that means we're not locked into getting a big center like Clint Capella. Like, KP can play wherever he needs to play. So I would love to see, first of all, I want to see KP play like point big man sometimes, right? He's not the best ball handler, but you've seen what Giannis can do with the ball, and just like how big he is, and the fact that he can score from anywhere would open up lots of doors for the rest of the team if KP is doing stuff like that. I like that. I want to see Jabari Parker because I think David Fitzdale can do the most with him. I'd like to see us get the most NBA-ready player in the draft available. And then I want to see us bring back Kyle O'Quinn, which is a weird, small one. I just really like Kyle O'Quinn. Bring the beard back.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good fit for you guys to just kind of bring him back, even if you do pay a little bit more extra for him. He's going to be making around 4.2 if he did sign the player option, but I think he knows. And I think a lot of people will be paying a little bit more for him.
Yeah.
So if you can just get him for 8 to 10,
I'm happy.
Wouldn't be a bad shout.
I'm happy with it.
The one thing is, though, obviously we know Fitzdale's trying to see if we can salvage that Joakim Noah situation. My question is,
that changes a lot.
Can he be salvageable? Can you get something out of him? He's like that marble floor in the kitchen. Is he salvageable, or do you just bring in a new tile and see if you can just get rid of it?
I mean, if we can get rid of him, that's absolutely ideal, because I think David Fitzdale is a great coach, but I think Joakim Noah is beyond saving, personally. Plus, he makes an incredible amount of money. He makes the second most amount of money on the team.
Yeah.
So
highest guaranteed.
I would try and get rid of him. I would probably try and offer him half and then say leave. But if he can play and he's like half of what he used to be, he's better than some of the players we used this season. So I wouldn't mind it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see though. I really like the mid tier of the Knicks team is not the best because they're all kind of overpaid, but there's still a solid core there.
Right.
Right. And I would like to see us try and trade Courtney Lee. I don't think it's going to happen though, but I would like to see that happen. And then, just continue to build on some of these young guys. Tim Hardaway keeps getting better every season. Frank should get better. Moutier, that's a different story. But Trey Burke,
But to be fair, that this is going to be his last year as a New York Knick from his contract and his contract's sake. So, you get him off the books 2019, 2020. You're potentially looking at a house or a foundation of a New York Knicks organization that could be better in the future, especially when that 2019, 2020 free agent class comes in. You got guys like Kawhi, Klay Thompson. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Even Draymond, I believe, is on the.
LeBron might be back on the free agency market.
LeBron will probably be back on the free agency.
I mean, there's 10 different dudes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many options in 2019. The New York Knicks, honestly, as a Knicks fan, the future is bright. Like, I think I have full faith that with modern day medicine, KP is going to come back better than ever, healthier than ever. And I just want to see all these young guys keep growing. Trey Burke, I love Trey Burke. I want to see him keep growing and getting those minutes in New York. Give him his extension. I should have put that as my 5th thing. Give him his extension. Give him some more money so he's happy.
Give him that money. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think of our suggestions for the New York Knicks fixer-upper video that we have today? Do you guys agree with Peter's stuff about the top 5 things you want the Knicks to do? And also let us know what free agents, if you were the Knicks, would you sign? Would you sign guys like Clint Capella, Randall, Parker, Evans, Cantor, Rodney Hood if he's a restricted free agent? There's a lot of guys out there. Put it down in the comments down below. What do you guys think of this situation?
One last option, one last possible thing, right? The Celtics are going to have to choose between Rozier or Marcus Smart. That's this offseason, right?
Yeah.
If Terry Rozier is available, I wouldn't mind seeing him come to New York, honestly. Scary Terry would be perfect in New York City. Just think about it, Terry. Come to New York. Leave him. All right, guys. We love you. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching this Knicks video. Peace.
Peace.